very beautiful and wonderful Friday afternoon here in the city of Ilaro, and it is the very first day in the month of May 2026. On that note, I would say a happy Workers' Day 2026 to all Nigerian workers wherever you are, and also the workers in Ogun State as well as Yewa South and the Federal Polytechnic Ilaro. I am Samuel Olani, and it's time for that program, Poly TV newspaper review and analysis. And I've been joined in the studio by our public affairs analyst and commentator, and that's Mr. Simon Fakaye. Welcome to the program, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, and today is Workers' Day. In your own words, do you have any wish or any words for the workers? You know.
It's good. I would say congratulations to all workers in the country. We should continue to do our best for the progress of the country.
All right, and also Happy New Month. Yeah. May I say that this is also my month? I don't know. Are you also
congratulations. No, I'm in September.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah. So let's get straight to it. We have the Guardian newspaper. We also have with us the Vanguard. We have the Nigerian Tribune as well as the Punch and Daily Trust newspaper. Let's get started with the Guardian newspaper. On the front page of the Guardian news, it says clarity on certainty as Supreme Court reshapes opposition ahead of 2027. We saw various blog posts, various news reports yesterday concerning the Supreme Court ruling for the opposition party, where we saw the ADC faction of the party being ceded to the David Mark led faction, and also we saw the PDP. For the PDP, it seems not to be so clear as regarding who owns the PDP as at today. I want to have your own sense. What implications does that Supreme Court ruling has on Nigerian polity ahead of the 2027 elections?
The ruling, although there have been confusion in the ruling from people's perspective, but to me, I think it is all about a message, just single message. And the court was telling the PDP members and the leadership that go home, go back home, and straight or try to resolve whatever differences you have. That is the understanding. Court is telling them that it is not his duty to choose leadership for them. But if they so desire that they can't do it by themselves, then court is open, they can come back. The same thing with the ADC. The status quo, whatever, is telling them that, okay, go back to the trial court. Because if now that you've decided not to know what to do by yourselves, then let the court hear the whole case again, all over. Okay. So the whole thing is about a disturbing scenario where we have fathers, grandfathers, grandmothers old enough to know what they are doing, but they are not. So I wonder when they will be comfortable accusing the president or the ruling party that they are the one, or the President Tinubu is behind their plights. I think this is very clear. Not that I'm breathing for Mr. President or APC, but the truth is now glaring to everybody that these are groups of people who claim to be learned, who claim to have gathered enough experience in life, but that they cannot know the right from the wrong. Just to say that, okay, let's put him there. Then the rest of us will be guiding him as our leader. Because they need somebody that will sign documents, that will say this is the aspirant, this is the aspirant that we want. I mean, when presenting it to INEC. But that is the problem now. No one, everybody, every one of them wants to be that signatory. Every one of them wants to be the chairman, the secretary, and all of that. So, and it is disturbing that you find this situation among the so-called leaders, people who have been in position of authority in this country. think of the former vice president. Then we now begin to question his decisions when he was the vice president, that he has really done the best for this country. The two parties needed leadership, and they find it difficult from among themselves to choose who can lead, so that the rest of them can support that person. It's now become difficult for them. You now blame it on Mr. President. They went to court. The court has said, go and settle internally, and they cannot do that. They cannot do that, just small thing. After all, if they cannot find somebody fit from among the older ones, I think they can just choose from among the young ones. That, okay, let's choose this guy. Go there, be a chairman. Then if you need any assistance, let us know. But because of selfish interest, they are telling us that they are not going there for our interest, to protect our interest, to serve the nation, but for their selfish interest. Up till now, they can't find somebody responsible to put forth as the leader. So that is what the court is telling them. I think time is not on their side. They still have some time. If I don't want to put myself in their shoe as if I were among them. So I will have said that it's a matter of saying, call all of you. Okay, look, I wanted to be the chairman, but now I have to forgo it. Do you want to be chairman? Okay, be the chairman. Just ensure that you sign the necessary documents and pass it to INEC, so that you see, things will just flow. But these people refuse, and they are telling us that they want to govern this country. They are not the best set of people to do it the way the country needed it. So, for me, they have the PDP and ADC have the best chance now as a result of the court ruling yesterday. And the chance and the opportunity is that court has told them to go and settle their problems amicably internally. So let's wait. Sometimes maybe for the rest of next week, if they can be able to swallow their pride, stoop low, and appoint leadership, so that we can have at least a weaker opposition, because they can never be strong again. Yes, so that Nigeria can move forward.
All right, thank you for that insight. Let's hope we can get a strong opposition. All right, so straight to the word of the Vanguard newspaper. On the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, it was very quite interesting story from the political scene. It says, Lagos 2027, 120 APC leaders sign Hamzat governorship nomination form. Lagos 2027, 120 APC leaders sign Hamzat governorship nomination form. There's been a report that the president intentionally have been avoiding the GAC, have been avoiding, a sort of public endorsement of the GAC nominee, that's the deputy governor of the state, that's Dr. Obafemi Hamzat. Because we recall that sometime last month when he was in Lagos for the holidays or so, there was a particular event, a project he was supposed to commission. He did not go there because probably there were rumors that he didn't want to have any personal interaction with them. But yesterday we saw the GAC presenting the nominee, that's Dr. Hamzat, to the president. And do you think Tinubu's dynasty is still in charge of the politics in Lagos as it stands?
Well, I believe the dynasty is still in charge, going by the relationship between Dr. Hamzat's father, who ruled as monarch in this Itori town. There's name of that town that housed the ICT Adegbenro Polytechnic. So, according to the narrative by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, there was a intimate relationship between him and the father of the consensus candidate for governorship position in Lagos State now. And I watched a video some times ago when President Tinubu was saying, I think that was when he went to sympathize with the family at the demise of the father of the present deputy governor, that his father trained him and integrated him into politics. In fact, in that video, he said by now he can say confidently that he has become a good politician. He is proving to the public that he learned at the foot of Dr. Hamzat's father. So maybe this is the pay time. The governor wanted to say that he appreciates and acknowledges all the roles of his late father in his life. Just like what we saw that during former President Olusegun Obasanjo, there was good relationship between him and Senior Yaradua. And I think that dictated why he decided to use his younger brother as his successor. So maybe that is the thinking and reasoning of politicians. So it's what is now playing out in Lagos also. Yeah.
All right. So away from the Vanguard, straight to the world of the Nigerian Tribune news. I think most of the newspapers are taking the Supreme Court ruling as a very big story on the front page. On the Tribune, it says Supreme Court nullifies PDP Ibadan Convention, voice status quo, and Tebelum order on ADC. It also says returns leadership disputes for trial at High Court. Wabara-led BOT says it has assumed leadership of PDP. And
after all, the whole thing is in his favor. As Yoruba will say, if I'm right. So at this time, they have limited time to play out their foolishness. So there's nothing they can do more than to reconcile or to go by the terms put forth by Wike's camp. So as for me, the way what is the joker, let them unite and use him so that they can have a way.
All right, thank you for that insight. We still in the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. There's a story there from Oyo State that says Tinubu nominates Tegbe as Minister of Power, appoint Larry Obalola as Special Advisor on Power. I don't know why Oyo State seems to be retaining that Minister of Power. Is there something special that the state has that we don't know about yet?
No, I don't see it that way. What my position there is that, this issue of appointment. So when it's seen that an appointee have not completed the so-called term, then
the slots for that state.
Yes. So politicians always believe that the remaining period of term must be slotted to that region. That is how they
shake the national cake.
Exactly.
All right, so the word of the Punch newspaper. The Punch newspaper on the front page of the Punch, May Day, NLC, TUC lament rising insecurity, poverty. May Day, NLC, TUC lament rising insecurity as well as poverty. Would you quite agree that Nigeria is currently facing a very high level of insecurity and poverty?
Well, theoretically, yes. Practically, we have to look at some factors that are responsible before we begin to share blames. I say theoretically because presently the minimum wage is nothing if we to place it beside the expenses, cost of living. So basically there is poverty. In terms of insecurity, yes, there were insurgency, terrorists are operating, killing, kidnapping, and all of that. Now, let's look at it practically. Who do we blame for the poverty rate in the country? We all know that some years ago, we know ourselves, I mean Nigerians, as import-dependent country. We'll be taught in school and with the daily activities that when you are importing every consumable item, there's tendency that there will be inflation and depreciation of that country's currency. And when there is depreciation of the currency, especially Naira, what the result is that essential commodities will be expensive. So in a situation where there is inflation, where there is rise in cost of commodities, so it means that the salary or the minimum wage will not become a manufacturing nation, a producing nation. We rely on other countries' products by which we import. And through that importation, we create unnecessary pressure on Naira. The Naira is devalued. So nobody is to be blamed. Now, we now consider what are the things or factors that weaken our Naira. Why we are not producing. What do we need to produce or to manufacture? We need stable electricity. We need good road networks. And here in Nigeria, our power supply is unstable. So how do we produce? Now, the first thing now is, what has been the effort of our government, or federal government, to ensure that there is stable power supply? That is where the problem is. Because to strengthen Naira is not a year job. It takes years. Which means power stability, good road networks, then we now start creating enabling environment, ease of doing business to ensure that manufacturing sector is working properly. So the issue of electricity, I've just mentioned, you just said that the power minister have just been replaced. So maybe federal government is trying to see how to fix that power sector. So we wait on the power sector to function before we can say that, oh, there is a high level of poverty or whatsoever. However, the issue of power sector, the blames have to be shared between the federal government and the citizens. Why? Some of us don't pay at least some hours of electricity supplied to us. Government ministries do owe. So all these things, we have to reorientate ourselves if we really want to progress. But in a nutshell, for this day, the May Day, there's problem. There is insecurity in the north, caused by the north. No apology for anybody, because the leadership of the north have not in recent times come out to condemn the rise in insurgency on that part of the country. Then on the part of the poverty, we all cause it. So we'll be trying to implore federal government to do everything necessary to improve the quality of electric supply in the country. And we are aware that electric supply is not that we don't have at least a reasonable measure of megawatt that can supply it, but the distribution is the problem. So let's hope that the newly appointed nominee, he has not been approved by the Senate, the new minister, so that he can be able to get it right, at least for us to celebrate the next May Day as an improved country.
All right, thank you for that insight. Finally, I think that will be all we can take on newspaper review and analysis. I want to watch your advice for Nigerian workers. We celebrate the Workers' Day today, being May 1st, 2026. And what's your advice for Nigerian workers out there who are struggling to meet end meet? What's your advice for them?
Yeah, my advice will come in two ways. One, for workers to see whatever they are passing through now as their portion of sacrifice towards a greater Nigeria. The present government is working. So let them see it as their own sacrifice to let it continue. So secondly, on the part of the workers also, some of them, they know why we cannot blame them because of some inadequacies. When you don't have enough food in your stomach, do we press it on you to work household? So, but whatever the case, they should also commit themselves to result-oriented public service. So most of civil servants, when you go to the offices, when some services are needed, you don't find them there. Some report to work 10, 11, 12 and leave anytime after 1. So that's the real work, the service to the nation is not there. So we should change our mentality, our attitude to service, to patriotism, so that the country can move forward. On the part of government, it's not a good time for workers. So something must be done.
All right, thank you for that insight. And once again, that is our public affairs analyst, Mr. Simon Fakeye. I want to, on behalf of the management of Poly TV Ilaro, want to wish all millions of workers in Nigeria a happy, Workers' Day 2026. I remain Samuel, and thanks for watching, and bye for now.